What's so terrible about pleasing a woman?
You always have to talk about everything.
Well, I want to know why.
It's complicated.
Yeah. But why?
Why? Because they think if you suck pussy, you'll suck anything.
Oh, you're kidding.
It's a sign of weakness, and possibly a sign that you're a fanook.
Thanks, everybody. How we doing?
I'm pretty good.
Fantastic.
I like what you're trying to do there.
Welcome to a special eating pussy episode of our show.
Ow, ow.
Yeah. We talk about, we spend a lot of time talking about crime and stuff like that, but sometimes you got to figure out, you got to talk about who helps these guys when their balls are full, you know? And that's what we're doing today. Abby Rosenquist is here joining us.
Yes,
Welcome.
I am. Thank you.
Friend of the show. Abby was here in the beginning when we had Frank, and when the show was originally a show where we gave advice to female comics.
Is that what it turned into?
That was the premise of the show.
Oh,
yeah,
it was?
We were gonna find young, promising young women and give them
Right.
life advice. Me and Frank.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What advice did you guys give me?
I forget. But I was listening to an old episode a couple of days ago, and we were talking about gay porn. And Frank was like, I was like, Frank, you must be a little gay if you're watching gay porn. He was like, no, I watch the most hairless men. Anyway.
So he's not a true Italian.
I guess not. He's excommunicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
If you'll suck a clit, you'll suck anything.
that's not I mean, it's a valid point.
Yeah, I guess the clit would be like the equivalent of the dick.
There's so much we didn't know in the 90s.
Well, a clit is like
Is
a
it-
tiny penis, right? It's basically it's a little micro penis.
Yeah.
So you are kind of gay if you eat pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
I
drives me
guess.
crazy.
See where you're going there.
Do you guys eat pussy?
I used to.
Yeah. What, are you not going to do that? Why did you hesitate, Mike?
Yeah, seriously. Why'd you hesitate?
Because I used to sort of think that way. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
you've come a long way, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Tony Soprano's going to make fun of me.
I've been on a real. All right, here's the thing. Matt showed up half an hour early today when I was trying to do research. So I think what I'd like to do is I got this bell for my dog.
Oh, boy.
Like for
I don't
training.
like where we're going
Uh-huh.
here.
You know, so when he does something good, I'll ring it and he gets a treat. It's broken though. Anyway, I was thinking today for you,
So-
every time you want to talk, you should ring this bell.
All right.
What do you think, Matt?
Well, we'll probably have to train him first with some treats. You know, before he gets
you got to condition the
idea.
behavior. You ring the bell twice. Frankie sat down. He's waiting for a treat.
Aw.
Oh, well,
You don't.
not today.
Look at him. He's so
He's
cute.
spoiled. It's fine.
So wait. So the concept is I'm supposed to ring the bell before I want to talk.
Yeah, before you want to talk, you have to ring in.
Okay.
And it'll hopefully condition you to think about stuff before you open your mouth.
So that's practice, or like, do I wait to be called on?
See,
or?
here's the thing. You're already not following the rules.
Right. Thanks, Abby. Hey. It's nice when guests come and they understand the groove of the show. You know?
But does he have to get permission before he can
Yeah.
talk, or does he just have to ring the bell?
He has to think about what he's going to say and then ring the bell
Okay, but you can't
if he
be
wants to come
sure
in.
that
What?
he's thinking.
Yes,
about
Matt.
it.
This is bullshit.
There we go.
I hate this game.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Frankie's mouth is watering.
You broke the rule again. That bell's going to turn into a shock collar very quickly.
It's gonna turn into a backhand.
It's going to go from my dog's bell to my dog's invisible fence. Whatever happened to the invisible fence? You don't see it anymore.
Is it not humane? But people still use shock collars.
Yeah.
Do people not? I mean, we live in New York. We don't see invisible fences because we don't see.
But you don't see them on TV. But actually, there's no TV anymore. So you're
Yeah.
right. They must advertise, late at night or something.
So I feel like I saw it when I was in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like heard about it.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, I'm actually excited about this episode. We're going to
too.
talk about some people who were sort of like involved in the mafia, had a role in it, and who like sort of kind of had a lot of influence on certain families. We're going to start our story with a young lady from Alabama who was named Virginia Hill. Virginia Hill was a young lady. She was born in Lipscomb, Alabama. Her father was a drunk who would often beat his wife and 10 children. And one day, 7-year-old Virginia had enough. She was cooking, and she hit her father in the chest with an iron skillet that had some grease in it. And she was like, "I'll burn you again if you ever fucking touch me, you piece of shit."
That's so cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Power move.
7 years old.
Yeah. Did you ever have any experience with child abuse?
Not really. I think my mom slapped me, or like, but nothing like, not often.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not really. I think I got whipped for grades and stuff.
For grades?
Yeah.
Oh.
But not
Abby,
a ton.
is this a B minus?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was bullshit.
Were you from San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I grew up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so I didn't really have much. But it's. I was talking to my mom the other day because
but
my
whipping for grades, that's a more calculated like sort of punishment. Because my parents would just kind of like fly off the handle and like smack me or something.
Did your parents ever like make that noise with the belt where they would like make it? They'd fold it in half and then they'd make it
Crack
whip.
the
Yeah,
belt.
yeah.
If
they would
you
do that shit all the time.
If you took a belt and hit it against the door, I would probably get PTSD.
Oh, did you get hit by the belt a lot?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. I mean, here and there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a lot? You know?
I don't think
my dad says never, so it's like, whose story do you believe? Maybe it's just in my head. Maybe I dreamed it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants you to say that, but
Yeah.
no, I got the belt a few times, but not too bad.
You know who never got the belt?
Matt.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, come on, guys.
Did you not?
I got spanked. I didn't get the belt.
Yeah.
My parents.
but that was
loved
because
me.
Shelby did it.
Yeah,
That was Shelby
she's taking
spanking
the
Yeah,
you.
when did this happen?
Right.
Anyway, so after that incident, her mother moved 7-year-old Virginia to Marietta, Georgia, where she sort of comes into her own and she begins performing sexual favors for local boys.
Abby, did
for
you
money.
perform sexual favors?
I wasn't
Money?
I wasn't even going to go there.
I'm just
Matt,
kidding.
did you ever perform sexual favors for local boys?
No, I never fell into that life.
No? Yeah. Well, I guess you use what you have. Anyway, this girl, she gets a reputation of being fast. She starts turning tricks for the boys in the schoolyard. And, yeah,
Yeah, she bragged
Good
about
for
like
her.
giving a good blowjob in the thing,
Oh, yeah?
didn't she?
I didn't see that part, but probably.
In the dock, like nobody could resist me.
Yeah, she was like, I knew what I had.
They
you know?
bleeped blowjob in the dock.
Yeah, they did, which is weird.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who knows what she said? Maybe she gives the best peggings.
It's goddamn right.
Good
It's goddamn
for her.
patriarchy. It's funny the idea that like this is probably like the 20s, so she's blowing guys for like a nickel. She's like sucks a guy out. She's like, got me a whole nickel. And all I had to do was use my mouth. Now I'm gonna go down to the general store and get me a milkshake and a.
Yeah. A malt.
That's basically a Simpsons bit. But yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well,
when
it worked out. I mean, she clearly started making some money. She got out of there.
She got out of there, went to Chicago. It's funny when elderly people talk about money because you don't know what the hell. You know?
Totally. Yeah. I have no concept.
I paid $8,000 for my house. Can you believe that? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but she started. I got a question. If you had a time machine, would you go back in time with all the money you have now and just live like a king?
I don't have very
Or
much
would
money.
Oh, okay. But even the money you have now would be pretty. You could probably start a business with it in like
Yeah.
the 20s. You know,
You'd know about
You know what?
Apple,
Actually, yeah, you're
you
right.
could
I do.
bet on who becomes president.
Microsoft.
Here's the
you
thing:
could-
could I leave my debt here and just take the cash that I have?
debt. Yeah,
I have
yeah.
student loans.
Student loans. Yeah.
So, student loans aside,
Matt doesn't have student loans because
Of course he doesn't.
He got
his
educated on the
parents loved
streets.
him.
No, I had the GI Bill.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
You did stuff for the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, luckily for me, I couldn't imagine being a trust fund baby.
No,
I mean, what kind of life is that?
Who's a trust fund
probably.
baby?
You know, just anybody that's had their education paid for, their rent paid for,
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Everybody at the UCB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be an improv.
Yeah. Take that, you scumbags. Anyway, so she moves to Chicago and starts dancing with dreams of being a star, but she doesn't have any talent really, so she ends up an exotic dancer. That was her job.
That's
in
a
Chicago.
talent.
It is a talent, you know,
But
You
not
have
one
to-
that can get you on screen.
Yeah, you got to make guys feel handsome.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a
Gotta-
charmer. She's like a in-person charmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strippers are good at making you feel good about yourself.
I'm sure.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I haven't been to one in a very long time, but I remember maybe like 7 or 8 years ago I went to one, long before I even knew who Deborah Brooks was.
And she's
Long
like chopping
before I ever-
something behind you with like
yeah,
the largest
seriously, what a
knife.
terrible time to bring that up.
No, before I
strip club together
where?
on New Year's Eve.
Oh, hey, if you guys want to, you guys should subscribe to the Oh, that one. Yeah, that one doesn't count. You guys should subscribe to the Patreon. Deborah's on a full episode. Maybe we'll bring her in for the next one. But anyway, yeah, I always felt like whenever I'm in a strip club, I always want to pretend that I'm like the manager of the place or the owner. You know,
Yeah?
And I want to do that Donald Trump thing where you walk through and you're like, "How we doing, ladies?"
Checking
Yeah.
on the girls.
Yeah.
Being a creep.
Yeah.
I worked at a strip club for a little while.
Did you?
Mhm.
What'd you do?
I was a cocktail waitress.
Oh, okay.
I thought I could make really good money, but it was the summer,
Uh-huh.
and so it was slower, and so I didn't. I only worked there for like a couple months
Okay.
before I was like, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
But I don't know, it was interesting.
What was the worst part about it?
What was it's just like it was weird because here's the thing. So then the strippers, they want lap dances because that's how they make money, right? But then
They want to give lap dances.
yeah, they want to give them. So that's how they make money. And
I don't know why.
yeah.
That'd be any other. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
And but then these guys, you know, they'll start flirting with the cocktail waitresses, and so like our job is to like be flirty,
Right, because you're kind of
But-
like the attainable one that works
right?
there. Yeah. He's like,
Exactly. We're not
I don't think I could
charging
bring a
them
yeah.
per 30 minutes. So then they try
Yeah.
to talk to us, and then like you have to be good about like
Walking
being
a
charming
line.
and getting out of there.
Yeah.
So then the strippers don't resent you for taking up their time that
Right.
you don't even want to be giving up.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like the manager would like buy.
Because there's probably a
would,
million
like, let
guys
us
that look at
drink
you.
on
They
the-
look at you and they're like, "That's my wife. That's
Right.
my future wife."
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring a stripper home to
Oh
my,
yeah, there was like
my mother's house in Paramus. But yeah.
yeah, some guy was trying to get me to like go on vacation with him,
Mm.
all that stuff. But I don't know, like
Where was the vacation?
I can't remember.
Was
but-
it good or was it kind of sad?
Oh no, I mean it was a nice place.
Okay.
you
Stop
know?
playing with the bell. You're going to break it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like you like drink on the job, so you're like a little drunk, so you aren't as phased by all the creeps.
hmm
Yeah, but I don't know. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, no, I was like, yeah, I can't do this for very long.
Yeah. I always, whenever I'm in a strip club, I'm like, I'm going to make a movie where like I'm the manager and one of my girls gets murdered, and I do this underworld investigation to find out who did it.
Wow.
And it leads me all the way to this like UCB kid who's the actual stripper murderer, but I can't do anything about it because his father's too rich. And that's how it ends. At the end of the movie, my Mexican valet is like, "Forget it, Mike. He's a UCB kid." Like Chinatown. Like, forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
He's been through all 5 levels.
yeah. Forget it. He's the kid from Silicon Valley. God damn it. And he gets away.
Oh,
You wouldn't
fuck.
risk it?
What?
You wouldn't risk it?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the thing. Like, that would be the appeal of the movie. It's like, oh, this guy's going to get some street justice. But then when you find out it was like a rich kid whose father is very powerful, you know, it's like
Then
the
it turns
mafia
into a
only
life
has so
lesson.
much power compared to like a lot of other people who
Yeah.
have real power. People with, you know,
Money.
Who
Like-
can be out more out in the open? They're
Yeah.
so limited by their.
it just feels like, well, I don't know. Maybe the movie is kind of flawed. Maybe it's not. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not good. Maybe it's more of a short
No,
film.
it could be
We'll-
it could be
we'll
a great
workshop it.
noir film, you know, where you work together with a detective and you get to like, you know,
Maybe you
shake
can
a
have
bunch
your
of
own mob.
people.
So you have a mob
that could be
wife,
good. You
Yeah.
could have
and
the
she'll
female.
help you.
Okay.
It could be like a
By
period
sleeping with
piece.
other men
You could have the
for secrets.
Yeah, she does that.
Yes.
Not me.
Right.
No, the women are getting the lap dance in this movie.
No, it's a feminist movie, so I have to like put on a wig and blow a guy to find out who
Representation matters.
To
Mike,
find-
you missed
yeah.
the point.
to find out who killed Cinnamon. Right. That could be good. Yeah, you team up with like the female detective.
Yeah.
Who has a past of like abuse, you know.
Totally.
But one thing that's kind of impressive about Virginia Hill is like she is sort of like she probably could have ran a criminal organization by herself. She was definitely smart enough, but she has to work within the systems of this, male dominated society.
What's that like? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's
Not anymore.
Yeah. No, she.
Mike,
So what?
down there.
You dropped
you totally
pee.
fucked up.
You dropped pee all over the ground.
Hey, Deborah, I spilled protein powder.
Pee protein.
Nightmare.
I didn't even knock it over. The dog did the dog knock it over?
I think you
Or
did.
the wire did?
I think you did.
It
with
wasn't
the wire.
my foot. The wire knocked it over. All right, so it's fine. Okay, Frankie, clean this up.
No, he doesn't need more protein.
No, he does. I want a super dog.
Is
I
that,
want a
is
jacked-
that Abby's laptop down there or yours?
This is Abby's laptop.
Okay,
That's
good.
mine. Don't worry. I wouldn't let anything happen. I think we have to pause. Are you recording? I mean, I think that's a funny thing about power. It's like the thing with the mob is like there is a limited amount of power that the mafia has because there are people bigger than, organized crime.
Totally, because they have to buy their power, and you have to. When you buy power, you're constantly have to like maintain that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money, and then you also have to hope that the people that you're bribing
Yeah.
will go for it.
Right. Like I feel like even if you're like a captain in like the Colombo family or something, right? If you went to like an SNL after party and people are like, "Oh, this guy, this is," they would still kind of like look down on you a little bit. They'd be like, "Oh, yeah."
I think
You're
some would,
still
and
kinda
some
like-
would be like, "Oh," some would romanticize it. I think it would be both.
Then if it was like if it was like politics or something, I don't know. They would just kind of like they
As
would sorta
opposed to
be-
politics, you're saying like politicians?
Yeah, because there's a Sopranos episode where like Tony goes golfing with some guys who are like, "Can you shut that door, please?" I'm sorry. Thank you. I wasn't yelling.
We have headphones in. We can't hear how loud we're talking.
Yeah. But there's a Sopranos episode where Tony goes golfing with like some doctors and some like and they're almost like making fun of him a little bit, and he doesn't
Oh.
realize till afterwards that he's like,
Because he's
"They
dumb
use
in
me."
Italian.
He's dumb in Italian,
Yeah.
we're like an easy target, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw,
I didn't
did
realize
his
that was a
feelings get
stereotype.
hurt?
No, I didn't realize that was a stereotype for
The
Italians.
Italians were dumb?
Yeah, because my whole life it was like, oh, the Polish are dumb,
Oh, right.
but I guess we are kind of dumb.
I felt like it wasn't dumb as much as they just wanted a story out of him. They wanted to be close to like the guy with all of the stories, right? Because they were all on the golf course being like, "So Tony, what do you have to tell about this?"
Yeah, but he was like hurt by it in the therapy scene afterwards.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was?
Yeah,
I wish I have seen this so I could
that's okay.
determine.
Well, you know everything you need to know about the show. Tony's uncle doesn't eat pussy. It's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds familiar. Yeah, my stepdad's family's Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently my step grandpa was like at one of the kids' birthdays parties telling his sons the only thing that matters is pussy and money. But he did not
Which is not-
clarify that he meant just fucking the pussy and not eating the pussy. I'm not sure where they stand on that.
Let me tell you kids something. It's pussy and money, but don't eat it.
It's like how did he
Don't
know
eat either. You don't put money in your mouth. You don't put pussy in your mouth.
The kid, he tells the kid not to eat pussy. The kid just ends up eating money.
Oh,
He
they-
ends up eating coins. He's like, "Well, Grandpa
don't
said
either.
Grandpa
I-
didn't specify."
I should have clarified. He was telling his adult sons that at a kid's birthday party.
Oh, he was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Still,
all right.
still bad, but not as bad as
I
telling
was
children.
picturing.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes you just want a simple way to go through life. I mean, it is an easier way to do it. We were talking about this like before the show, hierarchies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
I think Italians like that because we have underdeveloped brains, so we like the idea of like.
Well, you
that's
guys
the
focus on
boss.
other stuff. Like you guys are so fucking charismatic, and like there's fun stories and everything.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
then,
Focused on
Thank
food
you.
and family.
yeah, food, family, and all that shit. So you don't have time to think about that other stuff.
Yeah.
we're like expressive, you know.
You
We're
guys are
busy
very expressive.
perfecting, yeah.
And
You guys are like Mark Zuckerberg in that like you don't want to choose your outfit every day.
Yes, we're just like Mark Zuckerberg.
You just don't
Wait,
want to
what are
make
you
as
talking
many
about?
like the reason he wears the same outfit every day is because he doesn't like to
You're
make
saying
decisions.
my friend, I own 4 different colored tracksuits. You saying
I'm not saying you.
How am I
well,
like Mark
Italians
Zuckerberg?
don't like to. They're not like against making decisions. They probably like making decisions,
Yeah.
but they
You
just don't.
decide
Well,
not
like
to
in
eat
real
pussy.
life, but they don't like making moral decisions or like hierarchy decisions.
Okay.
They
don't-
They like very specific roles.
We don't like challenging. That's why we all voted for Trump, because we're like, that's the guy who's gonna.
I mean, there's multiple
Who's
reasons you
gonna
guys
lead
voted
us?
for Trump.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
thank you for untangling that because
We like strong men. You know.
You do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I wonder if Trump's ever eaten a pussy.
That's
a great question.
That's a good question. Probably in his younger days.
Probably in his younger days when
Yeah.
would he brag about it or shy away from it like these guys?
I'm the best pussy eater, but nobody knows because I haven't done it.
But I'm sure if I tried, I'd be very good at it, folks. Yeah.
I learned from the best, Putin.
Yeah. Here's a clip of Arlyne. No, not Arlyne. Sorry. What the fuck is her name? Virginia.
Virginia Hill.
Here's a clip of Virginia Hill testifying before the Senate committee.
Did you ever get any money from Costello?
No.
Flashbulbs exploded as reporters tried to get a look at the woman who had been labeled the mob queen.
All of us fellas would gather around the television set.
No.
All right, this is the wrong. This is totally unusable. I'm sorry. Anyway,
doesn't feel good, does it?
no, it doesn't. What? What doesn't feel good?
Being unusable. It's like, oh,
wouldn't call
Matt
you
said something stupid. We're gonna have to
unusable.
cut that segment.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, if you contributed a little bit to this show, we might have a sound clip that's ready.
Do that.
Anyway, folks. But yeah, so she meets Bugsy Siegel. She she begins an affair with him. She ends up Bugsy Siegel gets murdered, and then she attempted suicide a few times, and they found her dead in Europe.
Yeah.
was
I mean, you
that
skipped a lot. There was a
suicide?
lot of stuff that happened in there.
Did I? What did I skip?
Oh, well, I mean, just like their relationship was fun. I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought that was interesting. Like she would like listen in on them. The other lady was talking about how like they would like fight all night and then fuck all night.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I found that interesting. And then also
Sound-
like she also didn't she get married?
Sound
or
close
did-
to home,
maybe
Michael?
later.
Oh,
Yeah, without
fuck,
the
I don't know.
fucking
Maybe I'm
part.
confusing them. Wait, what was close to home?
The fighting and fucking all night.
yeah. That's not normal. That's not what everyone does. That's very Italian. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and she
But
also
anyway.
had that casino named after her, right?
Flamingos. Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
like
yeah.
Because
created
Bugsy, that's why he got
Vegas.
murdered.
Mhm.
Is because I think he was supposed to borrow like $1 million, and then it ended up being like $5 more million or something, and the mob was super pissed.
Yeah. Gambling debt.
Yeah, because well, in one of them it said that she was super upset about him dying,
Mhm.
and then in the other it was like if she was upset you couldn't tell. So I don't really know what
Yeah.
her deal was, but I mean she did like drink herself to death and like commit suicide, so
Mhm.
she must have been pretty torn up.
Right.
But that could have been because the mob ditched her.
Yeah.
Because that's another big important part is
Yeah.
that she went to them
Yeah.
and she was no use to them anymore because she was in Switzerland or wherever or Austria.
Yeah.
And, so.
It does seem like a lot of these women are very disposable.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like they do a lot and they're loyal and they're like good. They're
yeah, that
they
like.
give them a lot.
yeah. Being a stand up guy in the mob is like only to other men.
Only to men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once they need them, it's like, see you later, toots.
And
I never saw that woman before. I only
then
fathered
she-
2 babies with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Virginia Hill was on TV a couple times, and at the time there was a young girl from Harlem who saw this, and she was like, "That's who I want to be." And that lady's name was Arlyne Weiss. Arlyne Weiss was all she wanted to be was a mob mistress. And one thing that she said was that being a mistress is better than being a wife because mob wives are kind of left out of the business, but
Oh yeah,
mistresses
they're
like
treated.
yeah. Mob wives are like baby factories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They take care of the children. They stay at home
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and get cheated on.
Yeah.
That's their main thing.
Which makes me wonder, like, I guess, I mean, it'll probably happen eventually, but because we are headed towards like a flip of power and men are going to be slaves, pretty soon.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the women who are in power will have like side pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
So you think you would have one? Would you have like a?
I don't know if
a
I would. I'm
Gumar if
not.
you-
I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line.
Yeah.
I haven't been with anybody long enough to get bored enough to cheat on them.
Okay. I would never have a mistress. I'm very happy with the person I'm with, and she's the best. I don't need to be with anybody else.
So Arlyne Weiss was Jewish.
Yeah, this lady was great. She was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Jewish. She has a father who he's a car dealer. She kind of like came from money, but he had a lot of mob associates, so
Yes,
she like
yes.
wanted to be around that.
He would
that
do
world. She
favors.
liked it. He would do a lot of favors. And then her grandmother had a funeral parlor that she ran like a bookmaking operation out of. The mob paid her to run a bookmaking thing.
So they were friendly with the mob.
Yeah,
already.
so she was very like sort of involved. At the age of 14, she meets a soldier in the Bonanno family named Tony Mira, and they start dating.
Oh boy.
But she found out pretty quickly that New York mafia members made lousy lovers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here's a clip of Arlyne talking about that.
I have been around a lot of mob guys, and they are the worst lovers in the world. They don't care if they satisfy you, you have an orgasm or whatever. They're mainly concerned, let's do it, get it over with.
That sounds
and
pretty
while you're
gay.
in bed, they're telling you about, let's see now, what we're going to play with a football team for Saturday or Sunday. What number am I going to play for the day? Who am I going to kill? How am I going to kill them?
It's funny thinking about like the opposite of that, like you imagine like a mob mistress and like Tony is just not making her come, and then she finds like a poet or something, who like listens to her.
Wait, Tony's not making. Oh, okay, sorry, I got confused there.
Like being a mob mistress.
Yeah, because nobody's coming with the mom mistress and the wife. Neither of them are coming.
Right. Did you say that sounds kind of gay?
Yeah, it just like it was like about fucking real quick and getting it over with, getting sex over with. That sounds very gay.
Mm.
I mean, not actually gay in the sense of like wanting to fuck other men, but being disinterested in women's kind of gay in my opinion.
Let me get back to my football.
Yeah,
Right.
let me go back to
I gotta
when
go back
men
to-
dominated everything.
Right. All right, let's get this over so I go back to the clubhouse.
What am I thinking
And-
about right now?
Let's get this over with so I can go say that I did this.
Let me finish
You know what I
before-
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Let me
so-
finish before my erection leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can I be gay? I fucked a man. I fucked a lady for 4 seconds.
They
earlier.
can show zero vulnerability.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ugh.
But I guess that is kind of like, I mean, like going back to the whole oral sex thing. Theoretically, you should be good enough at sex that you don't have to go down on a woman. You should be able to make her come with the equipment that God gave you, and not use what's for eating to satisfy somebody, because that's not what that's for.
How do you feel about
It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's for.
Oh my God! Speaking of, I was looking up stuff for roast jokes earlier, and in Jewish, there's some. It's like Jewish 101, it's talking about how sex. Essentially, it was saying that sex isn't necessarily up to a woman. I was like, oh my God, wow, Jews.
Yeah.
I guess that's not surprising. It's like all of the religions if you like look into them. But it was like literally the first thing that pops up.
Mhm.
I was like, oh wow, okay, interesting. So Jews and Italians are very similar, also.
Yeah. We have.
As much as you hate it.
Oh yeah, you guys are so similar.
Yeah.
And she probably wanted to be Italian. She probably grew up Jewish and was like, but I want to be Italian.
Well, I mean, every Jewish person wants to be Italian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's probably like both. Like there's probably like Jews who want to be Italian, and there's probably Italians who want to be Jews.
My
like,
instinct is to
like
just automatically
Scaramucci.
agree. I don't even know if I agree. But yeah.
I mean, I wish I was a little more Jewish. I wish I was
Well, yeah,
smarter.
you're in comedy.
I wish I was
You wish
more.
you had
Yeah,
more
I wish. Yeah. I
handle
wish I
on the
was more
books.
educated. You know. I always thought I was going to be this like, hey, this charismatic guy, but that's not going to get me into like a writer's room or anything.
No, totally.
Yeah.
So wait,
Well, I should have been
earlier you were saying if
more
you have a good
educated.
enough dick,
Yeah.
you shouldn't need to.
He was joking.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but I mean, that's.
Are you
I
joking?
think
semi-seriously.
I am joking. I mean, I am semi-serious where it's like.
How do you feel
shouldn't-
about blowjobs? You feel the same way?
No.
Why?
No, I don't because I'm a piece of shit. Because I'm DJ Khaled.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went back.
It's so funny because it's so much
'cause that's a
easier for
different-
guys to get off from sex than it is for women to get off. But you think that,
Not with my bitch.
well, sure. I mean, I'd like to get her testimony first, but yeah, no, that's
I'm
insane.
I'm like 60-40
60-40? What do you mean?
when she has an orgasm.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
But I'll go down on her.
Oh, wow, you're such a sweetheart. Yeah, no, fuck that. I was
Yeah.
just talking to somebody the other day who's like a grown woman who was talking about some guy that he was like, yeah, I don't do that. And I'm like, if it's a situation where he doesn't do it,
yeah.
but he also doesn't expect it from me, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But if he was like expected it from me and then wasn't going to do it to me, I'd tell him to fuck off.
Yeah. Oh,
Those kind of men
100%.
should not be getting laid.
Yeah.
In 2018, you
100%.
kind of have to. In the 40s, it was different because
Oh,
it's like, okay,
absolutely.
you defeated the Nazis. You don't have to put your face down there.
Yeah. The only reason you shouldn't be doing that is because it's like, oh, I just finished walking around New York all day long.
Sure.
It's like neither
Take
one
a
of us
shower
need
first,
to do
fine.
this.
Putting
Yeah.
your mouth on stuff? Oh, that's what Shelby would say.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying
Your
that's
girl
what
would say.
anybody would say.
Matt's
man,
like,
man
I
or
was
woman.
I just walked around New York all day licking subway poles like a rhino at the
Trust
zoo.
me, you do want not want my tongue in your business. Oh,
It's like how you get out
I
of
didn't have
it.
money for Cheez-It, so I made out with the guy at the newsstand. Yeah.
yeah, I
Anyway.
wonder how many guys do you guys know that aren't pussy eaters?
I didn't know any until
I don't
just
know
now.
a single one. You're
Right?
not allowed on my crew if you're not.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember
Get
that
the
when we
fuck
take
away.
over, Mike. You know, you're one of
Thank
the good
you.
ones.
Thank you. Watch, I bet when there is like a matriarchy, there will be sort of like Uncle Tom type dudes. Because there already are, but there'll be like Uncle Tom type dudes who are like, yeah, I just think women are like better and smarter, you know.
Yeah, they have
And
to
we'll all
say
be like, you fucking sellout piece of shit. We'll be on your version of Fox
and
News.
that guy is a rapist.
Yeah. But yeah, she found out that New York New York wise guys made lousy lovers. Now here's a pretty sad story. She gets involved with a mobster named Nadine Nelson, and apparently this guy talked too much. So when she's about 17, she's going over to Nadine's house. She sees this guy Jimmy Doyle leaving his apartment, and he had just killed Nadine. So what Jimmy Doyle was a associate in the Genovese family, and what Jimmy Doyle does was he says, you better not tell anybody. Now, what's funny about this is bad what happened to her. But what's funny about this is like, he's like, you better have sex with me or I won't kill you. Because usually if you witness a guy murder someone, he has to do something for you. And she just got raped.
Wait, usually who has to do something for who?
If I saw a guy kill somebody, he would have to do me a favor.
Oh,
But she saw
Yeah.
Jimmy Doyle kill this guy, Nadine Nelson. And he was like, you gotta fuck me now.
it depends on who it is. That would only happen if it was like a powerful person.
Yeah.
But if it was a guy, just a random guy who didn't have power, he probably just got murdered.
Right, but he should have went down on her
Oh, no,
for
I
her to keep her
agree.
mouth. He should have done something nice for her, and instead he just raped her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the last rape for Arlyne Weiss. I want to play another clip of her because she is like she's a great character. She's a very spunky
Yeah, the way she talks about it is very.
I really
It's
love
very
what she does.
It's very matter of fact and
Yeah,
like,
just-
yeah. And then they threw me in a basement and took turns, and I was like, "You guys are bad people."
Well, I guess I didn't see her talk about it in the second.
This girl doesn't need a safe space, you know.
Wait, in the one that I didn't watch all of that you had seen where she had like the bigger hair and everything, did she also sound pretty nonchalant about it in that one, or did she sound a little interesting?
Yeah. But here's a clip of her.
She was complicated, when she talks about I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but when she goes to court and stuff, like she talks about that, I remember being like, whoa, should I say what she said? I don't want to jump ahead too far.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like when she's like, oh, I got turned on by this guy she was testifying against. I was just like, these are the guys that did this to you.
Oh, really?
And fucking kept that, maybe not directly, but they kept the circle tight where they didn't offer
it's
any
unfortunate
retribution.
what
And
you just
now you see
are
why we have the bell.
involuntarily attracted to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Very unfortunate.
It's a confusing thing. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't choose what your body's into.
I mean,
sometimes it's a homeless lady.
Okay.
not me. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. So in
So then that.
when she's 23, she goes to the doctor to get her ninth abortion.
Ninth.
Yeah.
And then she's talking about it. She's like, yeah, so I was there getting an abortion. Like, doesn't even stop for a second, just talks about it.
Yeah. But I guess that's another thing, too. If you're like a mob mistress, you're not going to, they're not going to pull out.
Right.
Well, you're not going to have the baby. Yeah, you're like, you probably have like a stamp card at the abortion office.
It would suck to be a regular there.
They're
like,
like,
the usual.
It's a bummer that she only got to 9. You know what I mean? I feel like you needed the 10.
Right. Right. Oh, it's old baby coffin over here. They just nickname her pussy baby coffin.
What an opportune place to put a baby coffin store next to you as well.
Yeah.
Abortion clinic next to a baby coffin store.
Abortion's a funny thing. You only master comedians can joke about it. Anyway, here's Arlyne talking about how she met her husband.
Having an abortion, that is sitting in the office, I met up with the only husband that I ever married, was Norman Brickman.
The couple
That sounds like she met up with a bunch of different husbands.
Well, no, she meets Norman Brickman. They get married.
It's the only husband I married. Yeah, that's a weird way to word it.
Sounds like she fucked a bunch of husbands that weren't hers.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
okay,
yeah, she
that's
definitely
what,
did.
Yeah,
Actually, she made it a point to fuck a member of every family.
Mm-hmm. She was very
member of the 5
she was
families.
very strategious.
Yeah,
it's like Pokemon Go.
Strategery.
Yeah, you're right. Got to catch them all, like the diseases. Am I right, folks?
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't. I wonder how many diseases she dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they didn't talk about that. Just the abortions.
Well, I think with every abortion, you get a free checkup. So they just test you for,
Yeah, I mean, most of those are just
stuff like that. And this is pre-HIV, so it's like party.
Oh, yeah, HIV didn't
party
exist.
down, baby. Yeah. That's why my grandparents voted for Trump. They were like, yeah, when HIV didn't exist. I remember things were better.
And then Obama.
Yeah, I want to use that time machine to go back in time to before when HIV existed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she marries this guy Norman, and they have a daughter. They have one daughter named Leslie. But she finds out that Norman is he's stealing from the he works with furs, and he's stealing the furs he's supposed to be cleaning.
Which she doesn't care about until
she doesn't care until she finds out that he's cheating on her. Yeah. So she's like, that motherfucker's going down.
I love her vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I like how she's like, I'm not a rat until you fuck me over, and then I got to do what I got to fucking do.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing that I like about her. She does have a loyalty, but she is pushed too far, and she's bullied by these guys a lot.
Exactly, because like we were talking about earlier, it's like you have to be a stand-up guy, but you're only a stand-up guy to other guys. So that whole like keep your word and don't say shit only applies if you're being rewarded for that by being taken care of. She's not. So fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and not get my shit.
Well, in their defense, she was a woman and a Jew. So that's why they didn't really go to bat for, because they were like,
as a
who
woman,
cares?
I'm offended. As a non-Jew, I kind of agree with that part.
So they have a daughter. So yeah, she tells the law about what her husband's doing. The guy goes to jail for a few years. Yeah. See you later. I mean, I guess it's kind of fucked up to send your kid's father to jail because he's cheating on you.
There's a lot going on there.
I mean, who knows what else?
But don't cheat on everybody. She might send you to jail.
Yeah. I mean, she'd already put up with it. Yeah, I guess that was like a last straw kind of thing. She had a lot of built up stuff from the past where
But it's funny that she met her husband getting her 9th abortion.
Oh wait, that's how she met him?
Yeah, she was at the office, and that's when he came in.
Oh.
It's like, let me just suck this baby out of my vagina, and I'll
missed
give you a
that.
call sometime.
Damn.
My number is Long Beach
I like a girl
5.
who won't keep it.
yeah. Wow. And that's when I knew I was in love. When I saw her going to that operating table and be like, yeah, give me the usual. Yeah, but so she fucked guys from every
All 5
family,
families.
even the Lucchese family, if you can believe it. She said it was a calculated move in case I got in trouble. In 1964, she's at a bar. She's at a bar in Times Square. She's talking to this guy, this bartender, this like 400-pound guy. He's advancing on her. She refuses it. They take her downstairs. They gang rape her. That's not cool.
No, very bad.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
and,
go ahead, Matt.
not just
I think
raped her,
that's
but
also
like beat her
bad.
up and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
play a sound clip?
I don't have this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so that shit happens, and then she thinks she can get help
mhm.
from the mob people.
She goes to the wise guys that she knows, and she's like, they raped
Yeah.
me.
I fucked
she's
I
every
like how Italians
dude.
call it. It's like they're called wise guys, and it's like that's like a sarcastic thing to call somebody. It's like, oh, this wise guy. Who's
Yeah.
not actually wise. Like they.
Right.
Anyway, it's like clear that you guys don't even think you yourselves are smart. But anyway,
Dude, she had to
So they
feel
do
so
nothing.
bad fucking a member of every family, and then they wouldn't help her at all, you know?
oh yeah.
Wouldn't you think that would earn you something?
What do you mean?
Some type of loyalty to be like, these guys
Oh,
did
fucking
this to me.
seriously. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I get where she's coming from. I know how we like shit on a lot of narcs on this podcast.
Oh yeah, I have zero judgment for that. I'm
Yeah.
happy that she did that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess this
Fuck
was an
that.
organization that didn't think very highly of women, if you can believe it. Yeah.
Which is lower to you, Jews or women? Or I guess to
It's always
probably-
women.
It's going to be
It's always women.
Yeah, because they worked with a lot of Jewish guys who are very smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go with the numbers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
They're a necessary evil.
yeah, yeah. It must be frustrating being a woman and realizing like, oh, I'm just as smart as as all the guys who are like running the world forever. You're probably smarter than a lot of them.
Sure.
You know?
Must have been
Yeah, no, I
frustrating
mean, yeah.
back then, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that documentary about the women that wanted to go to space, you know, and all the astronauts are like, "No,
Yeah.
you don't."
John-
Did they even give
John
them a
Glenn
response,
was
or
like-
they just laugh?
John was like, "Get out of my way, you clam! I'm going to space." Hey, make me a cup.
yeah,
Make me a cup of coffee.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we were born in the wrong time, right, Matt?
Right, yeah.
It's a shame that's
And
all
I
over
hate
for us.
rights, so I was too.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Da-da.
So she's like, so no one helps her. So she decides to become an informant.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna rat on these guys.
Yeah.
Is this the first time she goes to the police?
Oh
no. She
The
okay.
first time was for her cheating husband.
Yeah. And then she realizes, oh, I can use them.
Mhm.
I can use the police as well.
Right.
Man, she is.
I liked her realization that she could get paid from the police.
Yeah, she was like, I can get money from them too.
Yeah.
Wow, she is so Jewish.
Let me see if this clip works.
They're gonna beat him up. They're gonna kill him. They're gonna this. I mean, after all, I was a mob girl. I had done favors for all these men.
I did anal for the underboss of every family. Yeah,
I
so
didn't
she's like,
tell
I'm gonna-
anybody that they went down on me.
right. And all of them did. So then she goes to. She's like, I'm gonna go to the cops. So in 1969, she's dating a guy named Tommy Zito, and she.
They did
She's like-
numbers, and he was bad at
They
it.
did numbers. He was bad. Yeah,
They
he
got
was like an
relaxed on
idiot.
it, and they weren't keeping their shit together. And then their neighbors saw the tickets, and then
He got arrested. Yeah, he did a year. He also owed money to John Gotti. So what the FBI did was the FBI gave her money to pay Tommy Zito's debts, gambling debts, and then she was going in. But one thing they said about her was she was a very good informant. They were like, her best trait was that she would press and probe and ask the second and third questions when most informants wouldn't. So she'd be
Yeah.
like wearing the wire. So she was like brave too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she didn't give it. She was invincible. And it was like, yeah, she's put up with so much fucking abuse.
Yeah.
You're so desensitized to it.
Sure. That must be part of it.
What, desensitization?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's like you're sort of like an outsider too. You're like alone. There's nobody else. So you
And also her
it
daughter
kinda
was
forces you to
involved
be
at this
stronger.
point.
Her
She
daughter,
was like,
Leslie,
that's why she was like, I'll put a fucking wire on, I'll do anything. My daughter's in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they were threatening her daughter.
Right.
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 And
that was the other thing that kind of made her like that lit a fire under her.
Yeah.
You know, she really was a woman who was just kind of like, and she's still alive, but they like just pushed her
she's
way
still
too.
alive?
Yeah, she was born in
Damn.
33. She's still around, but they just kind of like pushed her way too far. So actually, what happened was her daughter Leslie was a heroin addict, and she got in debt with the mafia too. And they were like, "We're gonna kill your daughter. We're gonna rape her," and she was like, "I have to do something."
Yeah. Which would have been
So-
a death sentence for them too. If she ended up with HIV, right? Her daughter.
Yeah, that's how she died. It is.
She's like, yeah.
AIDS, right? Or was
Right.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, her daughter had AIDS.
Damn.
Going around.
She
From
was like-
those needles. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They were like,
Which you should've
she
just let
died
the-
from AIDS. It was probably from all the drugs. Yeah, it was absolutely.
Yeah. She should have just said, "Yeah, come rape my daughter," and then the guys would have gotten AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's hard for a guy to get AIDS.
Yeah, that's another thing that I mean. It's crazy. Everywhere I turn, there's another thing that pisses me off about being a woman.
Yeah.
It's like so much easier for us to get STDs than you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, okay, but on Tuesday night you drink for free, so shut up, Abby.
I don't drink.
Yeah. It is funny hearing a lot of these like men's rights guys who will like bring up stuff like that, and they'll be like, "Why is it okay to ask our age and weight?" You know?
Oh my god. I hate.
I can't even
Anyway.
think of anything like that. So funny.
Empathy, everybody.
Yeah.
So Tommy Zito, her boyfriend, is like $90,000 in debt to the Colombo family. So
Mm-hmm.
she starts making the payments, and she's trying to get this guy Scarpati, who's like a captain of the Colombo
Mm-hmm.
family, and so she's making the payments. The FBI is getting her on tape making these payments,
Mm-hmm.
and she always insists to drop the money off to Scarpati.
Mm-hmm.
But
She's
he
like, I
would
want-
send a double.
He would send doubles and stuff like that, but she'd always press to. So she's very
Yeah.
good at informing.
They had to know.
Yeah, I wonder that it's like she's good
think?
at informing, but then also
Like she's
That feels
insisting
obvious.
to like talk to the top dog.
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
every
she never
time.
got murdered, so she must have been really slick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that does sound curious.
right. Let me see.
Or maybe she was so good at
Oh.
fucking that they
Well, she did give
Didn't
the best
notice.
blowjobs.
Right.
The best whatever they beep it out.
So I think the funny thing is like we watched 2 documentaries about this lady. Even like, and these documentaries probably came out 20 years ago or so. But there's even like sexism in the documentary, the way
Oh,
that
yeah.
she's presented and the way they talk about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she is like a pretty like tough, articulate.
It's
lady.
hard to distinguish between sexism and just being like just saying things matter of factly, because he was like because one of the things that like sounds that way is he's talking about how it's a male dominated world, so women get it. So it sounds like he's kind of talking matter of factly. I don't know
Yeah.
what specifically are you talking about.
The part where like so she ends up going to court, she ends up testifying against the guys, and they're like, but once she was in that witness seat, her old instincts kicked in, and they were talking about how she was like attracted to the guy.
Yeah.
But it's like it's hard to not be sexually attracted to a guy who like makes a lot of money and can kill somebody.
Yeah.
and all
And
these guys are
slapped you around a
funny.
little bit.
Yeah, they have their tracksuits
They're
are all
They're
chains.
probably
nice.
good at the piano or something,
Yeah,
or drums.
right.
They're musical too.
Right. Yeah. So she gets. She's a
But that
star
doesn't
witness.
sound sexist. Is that sexist? They're just talking about how, because if it was a man on there, it'd be like, oh, and the man was horny. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if that's sexist.
Yeah,
I think you're overcorrecting because you really want to be accepted in the new world.
I do.
You're going to
feel
be
like,
one of those guys that you were talking about
One of those Uncle
earlier.
Toms,
yeah,
yeah.
you're going to be an Uncle Tom
Yeah.
yourself.
Like when we're all on a farm,
He's gonna
I'll
be
be
one
like
of the cool ones that we don't even know that he's an
Right.
Uncle Tom. Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
like a house slave. Like I'll just be like ratting on the guys at the at the plantation when all
Absolutely.
men are slaves. Yeah. Yeah, good luck. You know, in Islam, it says that God.
What does it say?
Islam says. Now, you tell me what you think about this, Abby.
Okay.
Allah gave the physical strength to the more logical gender. So that's why men are stronger, because we use better judgment. If women were physically stronger, you would have chaos.
Interesting.
Which is, I might be a Muslim now, to be honest with you.
Interesting. I mean, here's the thing. Well, I mean, how much do you want to get into this? But it's like testosterone and estrogen are different. And so like we do have more swing. It's like ours are predicted swings though. You know what I mean? Like you kind of know when our irrationality is going to come about. Guys, it's purely based on like circumstance. So you guys are irrational with certain things triggering you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Anyway, that's just something I was thinking about.
Interesting.
No, that makes sense.
But it's kind of a shame that like American conservatives over here and like radical Islam people don't get along, because they believe
I think about
in a
that
lot
all
of the
the
same
fucking
stuff.
time.
Yeah.
I had a joke that never worked about
like Gavin McInnes like doesn't like Muslims, but he would be a huge hit over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Venerate the housewife. I mean, it's not like women aren't wearing burqas because they don't want to.
Oh, wait, what?
Like that whole Muslim those attitudes.
They want to wear burqas.
It kind of makes sense. It's like I have this beautiful, sexy wife, and only I get to see her. Only I get to look at those sweet tits, and not some Puerto Rican on the street.
So you're saying they're wearing them because they want to, or because they don't want, even though they don't want to?
They're wearing it because they want to, because it's a good way to live your life.
Interesting.
Being radical.
I mean,
Muslim.
It's so crazy because it's like, you know, people are like, oh, well, they cover it up so guys aren't, you know,
horny,
tempted and horny. It's like, oh yeah, but there's like way more rape there. Like way more.
Right.
So I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
So
but
maybe it's
I can see it in a way. It's like, I'm gonna wear this so guys can't see me because they don't deserve to see these motherfucking curves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You ever think about that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. We should get you a burqa.
Yeah.
And we'll
it's
see
too
how
warm though. I would, you know, be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I would maybe want to put Deb in a burqa, but I feel like she can handle herself. You know, like she's not going to let anybody intimidate her. But anyway, so this guy, so her testimony almost brings down the Colombo family, which is
almost or does.
Well,
brings down some of them.
So Scarpati gets indicted.
35 years.
He gets 35 years. He's like a big sort of figure in in this world, and it deals a major blow to the Colombo family. The Colombo family also, probably with the episodes we've done, probably the sloppiest family.
Yeah, they're the ones that are always into drugs and trafficking, and then the other.
Well, they were
families,
the smallest family, but they were like always at war.
Yeah,
always killing each other.
The other families would like do the classic Godfather thing and not traffic drugs. They'd try to stay away from those federal drug charges.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Dum-dums.
So anyway, but towards the end of Arlyne, her daughter Leslie, her daughter becomes a heroin addict, and she ends up dying of AIDS. But she said during the last 4 years of that girl's life, she was a good mother.
Yeah, that's she's like, one thing I will say is those last 4 years. I don't know how she talks, but it's like, the last 4 years where she's dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very tragic story though, because it's probably it's a woman who, like, even though her parents had money, she probably didn't get the support that she had. She probably had some dad issues or something, and just
which one? Both of them? The daughter,
Arlyne. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
So it kind of feels like maybe.
Well,
I don't
also
know.
Arlyne is probably part of it. Is probably Arlyne had dealt with so much shit and put up with so much that she thought her daughter could also probably deal with the stuff and be as strong as she was.
Yeah, but you look at the bullet points of her life. It's like, okay, she gets raped by the guy, that Irish guy at 17. Then her husband cheats on her. She meets her husband because she's having her 9th abortion because she's just a cum depository. She's just an Italian cum dumpster, you know?
She's Jewish.
She's Jewish. That's a major. Yeah, that's tough.
I thought that's the only thing I could.
Watch your
I'm
mouth.
not like, don't call her a cum dumpster. I'm like, do not call her Italian.
Do not
she was
besmirch
Jewish.
this woman.
No, but she was an Italian cum receptacle.
Oh,
Which-
Italian cum.
yeah.
I apologize.
Which
I
Italian cum
apologize.
is a lot more oily than other people's.
I wouldn't
just
know.
shaved ice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
wouldn't
been with
know?
an Italian guy.
Really?
Let me think about that, but I don't think so.
Oh.
Ooh,
Sorry.
I think I've avoided them because
Sorry.
I hated my
Because your
step
step family. Yeah.
Yeah, Italian cum sounds like you could get it in the park with like flavors, and it's like chilled.
Yeah.
You know?
Abby,
I have a nice Italian cum.
Abby, frozen Italian cum.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's
From
funny because
my-
I always like because I talk about how I don't like my stepdad. They're all Italian and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like his dad. His dad was like a typical Italian guy like this, like beat his wife, my step grandma, cheated on her all the time. I mean, just constant. We just found out he had like another daughter he didn't even know about.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of
Wow.
those. He was like really charming. He had a restaurant and everything, and he was like
So did my
musical.
great grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, my great grandfather like we owned a restaurant in Trenton, and also like the women did like all the work, and the guys just kind of like gambled. And my great grandfather had a mistress that lived downstairs.
Damn.
Yeah, so like my grandmother and great grandmother like cooked all the food for the whole restaurant, and he was just like gambling and like fucking some whore that lived in his house. What a great
Jesus.
life, huh? No,
And like, here's
no,
the thing.
Julia, I miss you.
You were
and
born
a lot
in
of
the
times
wrong
like
time.
they
Yeah.
know that stuff is happening.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But they're in it to win it, I guess. I don't know.
I guess
That sounds right.
Yeah. Also, my grandparents had a weird relationship too, where it's like they were always fighting. My dad's parents, they were always fighting. My grandfather died 17 years before my grandmother did, and it was very adversarial, and it was probably sort of like a traditional thing where she was treated like kind of a fucking servant.
Well, and here's the thing. So my step grandpa, he's the piece of shit. I think it might skip.
We don't want to like denigrate Italian culture because for the guys,
well,
it's
here,
great.
no, but I was gonna.
It's like a good life. Your grandma does your
Not
laundry till you're
necessarily.
fucking
It fucks
30
you up
years old.
mentally, though.
You think? Yeah.
I think my stepdad, he's because I was gonna say my stepdad is a piece of shit in a different kind of way. I feel bad saying that, but like, because he's not like cheating on my mom and all that kind of stuff. Like he worked really hard for everything.
Yeah.
And his grandpa, so the piece of shit's dad, him and his wife are the one who started the business.
His
and
da- yeah.
yeah, so my
Oh, his
great
grandpa. Okay.
step grandpa.
Got it. Yeah.
Like she was very respected and she was like the matriarch and that she was not disrespected. I mean, who knows when they were younger.
Yeah.
But and they died within like a day of each other or something like that. So
Wow.
I guess my question for you is what culture is good towards women? Because it seems like they're all kind of because Japanese
pure white
Japanese
men.
men.
Just kidding. I'm totally joking.
Japanese men are allowed to shit right on their wife's chest. It's in their Bible.
Oh
The
yeah.
Japanese Bible.
Japanese Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just depends. You just hope you get lucky with because there's exceptions in every single one.
Do you want to call one of them mostly good though?
No,
Okay.
I can't think of.
Like French people, maybe.
Oh no. Well, I don't know if they're
with their
weaker
cigarettes
or
and
something.
wine.
Maybe they're weaker, but they're also pigs. But also
Yeah.
the women are. That's just the culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go through them and I'll.
I guess Canadian's the only one that.
Oh, but they're pussies. See, here's the
Right.
thing. Here's the
Yeah,
thing. That's
that's
part
kind
of
of
it.
the-
Is
that's
you have
sort
to
of the paradox, yeah.
you have to find a good balance
Good balance, yeah.
of I don't know, somebody who's strong but not.
Because you either get
Sure.
a pussy who you're disgusted by,
Mm-hmm.
like Shelby and Matt's relationship, or you get
No,
like
wait.
a tough guy who is like abusive.
Wait a second. Are you disgusted
There's
by me?
there are people who are they are hybrids.
Uh-huh.
There are hybrids out there.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're wondering.
It's possible to like be a tough guy and still eat pussy. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, like John Cena.
Yeah.
Anyway, so R.I.P. Leslie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a very sad story, like what happened to her.
No, it is,
Yeah.
but she tells it like it's not. She doesn't sound sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right.
Well, one of the things
know.
I like to talk about too is like masculinity, because I think Sopranos is big on that. Like examining what that means. And I recently saw, so there was another story in that documentary that I sent you that we won't have too much time to get into, but there was a lady from Philly. She married a guy, didn't know he was in the mob. Then he ended up, they got divorced. She ended up working at a restaurant to support her kids, but then the mob pressured her to go back. The guy who pressured her was actually Frankie Flowers Delfonso, the guy who was beaten and said he got run over by a truck.
Hell yeah.
This guy was beaten by 2 associates of the boss, Nicky Scarfo. For refusing to pay a tax, within an inch of his life. And when the cops questioned him, he was like, "Yeah, I got hit by a truck," because they don't rat on each other ever.
Oh my god!
Even the guy who, unless you're raped, then.
But that's so.
Unless you're
a Jew,
unless you're an exception to the being on the other end. Yeah.
But that Italian masculinity is so fragile that even watching a woman leave another man, who's married. That's damaging to somebody that's not even in that relationship.
Totally.
Yeah, they were
you gotta
go back. Yeah,
you're embarrassing him.
Yeah, they went to the Perkins she was working at to can you just get back with your husband, please? It's not a good look.
Yeah,
because it was what's the matter? You can't control your wife.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thing to control your wife.
Yeah,
you got to keep them from
right.
See, and here's the thing: if they just knew, if they ate pussy, they could control them that way.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are just doing it all wrong.
Mind control.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Good dick will get you power too.
Interesting. So it's like my dad beating me if he just eaten my pussy.
Right. Back when you had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
you were Michaela.
Before I went to this female. Before I went through my female to male transition. Yeah.
Well, then there was also. Oh well, we can keep talking about this lady first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she. What happened?
So what happened was she divorced her husband that she didn't know was in the mob. Then she remarried a guy, but her husband. But they had 2 kids, so her husband would still take her kids Atlantic City and
oh yeah,
stuff
they
that.
get to live the rich life with his dirty money.
Yeah, and then this poor stepdad is like, "Can you boys clean your room?" He's like, "Shut up, you fucking." I'm gonna go to my dad's house.
Even the narrator was like, "Yeah, because they could provide way more than this guy could."
Yeah. He's probably some honest guy who works in an insurance company or something. But have you ever seen the movie Daddy's Home with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell? So the premise of the movie is Will Ferrell is the stepdad. He's got 2 stepkids, and then the dad comes back into the kids' lives, but the dad is better than Will Ferrell.
He
So
has a motorcycle.
Yeah, he's got a motorcycle. He builds stuff, and they pretty much say in the trailer oh, this guy is better than you in every way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that guy's better than you. The guy who's not raising his fucking kids.
Well, that's the thing. They get to be the hero because they come back. You know what I mean? It's it's bullshit. Here's the thing. Nobody's ever rewarded for just doing the right thing the whole time.
Right.
They're rewarded for doing the wrong thing and then doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're wrong, but that's just how it works.
Yeah. It just seems like a pretty shitty premise for a movie.
Oh yeah, I mean,
where it's the badass dad comes back and he's cool.
Yeah.
But he's the one. Will Ferrell's the one doing homework with the kids and all this other.
Yeah. So it's just teaching men, don't be that fool.
Right.
Leave your kids and let some other fool raise them.
Exactly.
And then you can dunk on him.
Yeah. Right. You can throw a watermelon at his crotch.
Oy.
Yeah. They need to bring that back though. More movies where people get hit in the crotch.
Oh yeah.
It's coming
I
back.
haven't seen that in a while.
It is coming back around for sure.
Yeah. Abby, you think there will ever be a woman president?
We ask all of our guests this.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. That was Frank's segment. We were like, Frank, pick a woman that you want to see be president.
I don't have one in mind, but
yeah,
I'm sure there will be one.
Yeah. Oprah. I guess I'd vote for Oprah.
Over who? It's maybe.
Yeah.
She is very powerful, and I think she's a decent person.
Yeah.
And
if anything, she should try to run on the Republican ticket, and then
I'm in no way saying that she's a.
If you could defeat Trump as the incumbent, then you just get a new person.
Yeah, try to get Republicans to vote for a black woman.
Yeah, great strategy, Matt. Wow, you're a real fucking
everybody loves
HR
Oprah.
Haldeman over here.
Come on.
Here's the thing: you would maybe get more of the white women vote than normal. Actually, I'm very curious to see how that would go. I mean, white women love Oprah, right?
Yes.
So
I believe so.
She would. I mean, they're the ones who fuck it up. Apparently, right? Us white women, we're the enemy to everybody.
Well, I don't know. Maybe take a look at yourself, you know?
And then here's the thing. There was also that other girl who was like the daughter.
Uh-huh.
And she was just like, my dad was a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got everything I wanted and I was treated like a princess.
Yeah, for Sam Giancana's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bitch.
Hey, I guess people are people, you know? No one is totally good or bad.
Sure.
Right?
Is that the moral of the story?
Yes, that's the moral that we hit pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
And,
That's life.
we got to take a break from this mafia shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Abby, you have anything you want to plug?
I don't know. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter and
at
Instagram.
Abby Rosenquist.
At Abby Rosenquist.
Yeah, check the episode description. I'll put it in there.
Sure.
And then what else is going on? This comes out tomorrow. So if you're in Denver, I'll be at the Comedy Works with Colin Jost on the 22nd.
Oh, nice.
And that's about it. Email me. Send me a packet. Send me a bomb. 874. Yeah. You can find my address pretty easily. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram at SitDownPod. Check out our Patreon if you want, patreon.com/SitDownPod.
We should read some of them.
This whole time he hasn't
reviews.
been using the bell. Have you noticed that? I just
No,
remembered.
I know. We're gonna have to.
Come on, I thought you were on my team.
He's gonna
I'm
have
on no one's team. That's what you have to do as a
gun
woman.
for
You can't be
hire.
on
Yeah.
anyone's team.
No, I know.
Because the second, this is a point that they make in there.
Yeah.
The second that you're tied to a man, your power is just whatever power. You're limited by his power.
Right.
So you just have to play all the fields. The second you commit to one man, you're fucked and you're
Right.
powerless. So anyway, I
learned
am
my
on
lesson
neither
as
of
a
your team.
beta.
Well, for not using the bell, Matt's going to be Arlyne Weiss after this show.
No.
Oh, fuck.
We're going to gang rape Matt, everybody. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And this has been another episode of The Sit Down. Bye-bye.
Mwah.